On this premiere edition of Around the NPSL, we will take you to the suburbs of Atlanta, where a Georgia Revolution striker's move from Haiti 11 years ago has changed his life and set him on a path of being an inspiration. We catch up with two former NPSL stars that have cut a path from Michigan to the New England Revolution, from friendly rivals to friends for the Revs. We also are in the Twin Cities, where Minneapolis City SC is doing its part to make its community a better place.
We have one less man up top. You don't want me?
Number 18. Stick with the plan till half. Let's sort it at halftime.
And we take you inside the game as we mic up Coach Bill Elliott from Chattanooga Football Club during a recent match against Georgia. That and so much more next. Welcome inside our NPSL studios for the premiere edition of Around the NPSL. I'm your host, Paul Boron. This show is all about our league and what makes it great. From the players who come from all over the world with great stories to tell, to the members who make a difference in their communities. We will take you inside the game when we mic up players and coaches. And we will catch up with former NPSL players who are playing at the highest levels of U.S. soccer. And we'll have some fun getting to know the personalities of players, coaches, and administrators. But we start this episode in McDonough, Georgia, home of the Georgia Revolution and the home, for now, of Kenny Dublett. He's a player who's made many stops on his soccer journey, but as Karen Loftus shows us, he is looking to leave his mark wherever he goes.
Johnny Cash has nothing on Georgia Revolution striker Kenny Dublett. He has seemingly been everywhere. Since leaving Haiti at the age of 16, he has spent much of his life on the move.
Went to school in Greenwich High School in Connecticut. After that, before I went to college, I decided to do a postgraduate year at Kent School, which is a private school. And after that, I went to school in Ohio, which is a Rio Grande University for the NAIA school. And after that, I transferred from Southern New Hampshire University, where I won a national title in 2013.
That answer went on for a minute and a half, but you get the idea. The ironic part of it all is that Dublett didn't want to make the initial move from Haiti in the first place.
I didn't want to. I mean, you don't want to leave Haiti. It's a beautiful country. It's hot. The food is really good. It's not as cold. So my mom decided for me to come to the U.S. because she thought it would be a great opportunity for me to be the person that I need to be. And then because she knows that I want to inspire kids and with my soccer skills, and I was able to do that when I was in Haiti. So coming here in the state, I was able to play soccer and also study.
Dublett is lucky that he did, because not long after he left his home, Haiti was devastated by a massive earthquake. 300,000 people lost their lives, including many of his friends and relatives. So he knows he is lucky to be where he is today.
I feel more than lucky. I feel blessed. I think that's what motivated me more to be the person that I am today, is because I felt like all the friends that I lost and what I'm doing right now with soccer, it's not only for myself, it's greater than me. So I want kids where I grew up to look at me as a role model and be, okay, Kenny was able to do this, so I'm not going to take the easy way out. I'm going to go to school, I'm going to keep training, and maybe that will help him, give him some discipline and respect, and able to guide them to the right direction.
I think it's made him a humble, just a good-hearted person. And you don't get a lot of that with somebody his quality that's quite that humble, but he's extremely humble.
Living up to his potential in Haiti, Dublett wants to make sure his dreams and the dreams of others become a reality.
We always talk about her dreams, saying, oh, when I do make it to a higher level, that I'm not going to let anything stop me to start making a difference. So that's why I was able to coach in Kentucky, because I wanted to inspire the world and help kids out. Because to actually give them an idea of like sport, it's just not just you just go and just run. You can make actually a difference.
The striker certainly wants to make a difference on and off the field. He credits his mentor, James Brooks, for putting him on the path to success.
He's like a father figure to me, and he always helped me out and telling me straight ahead what I need to do, what I don't need to do. And he always pushed me and telling me, Kenny, you can use your soccer to change the world if you want to, but you have to be patient and keep working twice harder than everybody else.
And he has made new fans with his social media posts that are designed to inspire.
From Greenwich, Connecticut to where I went to school in New Hampshire, or people from Kentucky, or even people here as we speak right now. And I only been here for a month. So I have people contacting me, asking me advice, and I'll probably meet up with them and show them some drills and tell them my story. So they look at my story like, oh wow, Kenny been to this, you know, I could do this as well.
And while he's currently starring with the Georgia Revolution, it should come as no surprise that he's on the move again.
Recently got called up for a team overseas. The name of the team is Navarro Tran. It's a really great opportunity for me to actually go to Europe and actually put myself out there and be successful. And hopefully, maybe a couple years from now, I'll come back in the state, or who knows, after a year. I would love to come back in the state to make more difference, like maybe in Kentucky or maybe in Georgia or anywhere else. I just want to be able to do that. That'd be nice.
So catch Kenny Dublett while you can, because he doesn't put down roots for long. But he does want to leave an imprint on every community he leaves behind. For Around the NPSL, I'm Karen Loftus.
Thanks, Karen. Dublett's certainly a guy you root for because he wants to make a mark with kids who look up to him. And coming up, Dublett isn't the only member of the NPSL looking to improve and inspire youngsters. We will tell you the story of Minneapolis City SC and their work with the youth in the Twin Cities. But when we come back, you will hear the story of two players who went against each other growing up in Michigan and through the NPSL. And now they are teammates in Major League Soccer. That's when we return on Around the NPSL.
Keep up to date with the NPSL with scores, stats, schedules, and exclusive content on NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform, read up on team news from around the country, and watch the latest episode of Around the NPSL.
Welcome back to Around the NPSL, and now we want to tell you the story of two players who grew up 75 miles from each other in Michigan, went to college in their hometowns, represented their hometown teams in the NPSL, and then both were drafted by the same MLS team in back-to-back years. This is the story of Brandon Bai and DeJuan Jones. Brandon Bai and DeJuan Jones are teammates in New England, but it wasn't that long ago they were rivals in Michigan. Brandon grew up in Kalamazoo and attended Western Michigan University, while DeJuan lived in Lansing and went to Michigan State, but each was well aware of the other.
We actually played against each other a couple times in high school, and then in college as well. We played against each other every year, I think, when he was at Michigan State. And then, I knew him a little bit, through, whatever soccer, how, soccer people know each other. So, no, it ended up working out.
In high school, I played against him. He was like this big hot shot going to Western Michigan, and my team won, of course.
Of course.
But I guess our dads knew each other too, so we had that connection. And then in college, we played each other 4 times. And I think my team won every time again. But now Brandon, so.
I'm sure you never let him know about that either.
No, I mean, we weren't like that friendly. We were nice to each other, but we didn't really get to know each other until I got to the team.
They were also on opposite sides when they were in the NPSL, Bai playing for Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Minneapolis City. Jones playing briefly with Lansing.
I got hurt in the summer of my spring soccer at Michigan State, so I actually didn't get to play that much, but every game was ultra competitive, and just the intensity of the training sessions really got me ready for where I am now.
It meant a lot to me. I got to play for 3 straight summers. Playing that, staying sharp, going back to my college season was definitely a plus for me, and knowing that I could get quality games and quality practices in there.
You did bounce around between 3 teams in 3 years. What was the reason for that?
Just happened to be what I was doing in the summer.
Right.
I had a couple internships with Kellogg's. So I was in Kalamazoo I was actually in Grand Rapids for my first summer, their first year, and then I bounced to and I stayed in Kalamazoo, where Western Michigan was. It was nice and close to home,
right.
Nice and easy. And then the third summer was in Minneapolis with Minneapolis Soccer Club, and I was able to go out there for an internship with Kellogg's as well.
We could tell the first training session he was actually here for an internship, but came into our first training session and man, he could play. So we could tell right away. I mean, really physical specimen, technically excellent, smart player. I mean, we were giddy. Everybody, all the coaches were calling us in the front office and talking about this special player.
Then they would both find themselves going from their home state to New England, Bai in the 2018 Super Draft and Jones in 2019. And Jones even reached out to his old rival for advice before the combine.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like I said, we kind of got more friendly after my season ended at Michigan State, and then he really did well at the combine, so I wanted to ask him for some advice on what to do, and he gave me some good advice, and now we're here on the same team, so it all worked out.
And now these two Michiganites are Bostonians that have become fast friends, even pairing off before matches for warm-ups.
For sure. I mean, I've known him for a little bit of time, so now, yeah, it's nice to know somebody and you come from similar backgrounds from Michigan, and yeah, it's nice.
Ever since I've got here, he's given me advice from his experience last year, so it's been very helpful.
And they still stay connected to the NPSL.
I talked to a couple guys up in Minneapolis, and then along with some guys at Kalamazoo FC and talk to them. No, I keep in touch a little bit and try to keep up on Instagram and Twitter and seeing everything like that.
I have a group chat with some of the guys from a couple years back in the NPSL, so that's pretty cool that we still have that going.
Thanks to both Jones and Bai for talking to us. The night we caught up with them was after a 5-0 loss in Chicago. But as you saw, both guys are great and hopefully will have great futures in the MLS. Now, when we return on Around the NPSL, we will listen in on one of the best coaches in the NPSL. But first, we head to the land of 10,000 lakes to see how Minneapolis City SC does more than just play soccer. They are giving back. That story is next. Welcome back to the debut of Around the NPSL. I'm your host, Paul Boron, and we're turning our attention to the Midwest, where recently we caught up with Minneapolis City SC as they were part of the city's annual May Day Festival. As Karen Loftus tells us, the club being out and about in their community is a big part of the club's core values.
We saw a gap emerging with Minnesota United going national and MLS, and with the youth clubs where they were, and we felt like there's a chance for players who want to get to the next level, fans who wanted that DIY soccer experience. And so if we're going to be out there bringing people in, like all the people you see, we had to be where Minneapolitans were, and we had to be doing the things that Minneapolitans do. And it's an interesting city, it's an artsy, weird, offbeat, just like us. So it was kind of our founding mission. We couldn't not do it.
Minneapolis City founder Dan Hudeman wants to make a difference in his community. And like many members of the NPSL, his team does it by being active in their city. It is an edict of sorts for any player who wants to represent the Crows.
We just use guys from Minnesota. And we don't search out people who we have to bring in and house to win games. It's about opportunity for players to elevate. So if that's the case, then we ask them to get out and give back. And in some cases, we're doing stuff with Big Brothers Big Sisters, YMCA, other great organizations that are doing things to help kids. And sometimes it's helping them with their soccer activities or their sports activities. Sometimes it's something like this where we're just trying to introduce and have some fun, because we're a believer that soccer is a connector, and it's a positive connector, and it can bring a lot of people together.
Just being around sports, a lot of getting stuff from the community. A lot of it is giving back too, so I'm used to that. I like it because you feel some sort of pride in it after doing it, and it feels good.
Much of that involvement centers around the youth of Minneapolis. While they may not be household names, the players know they are role models to the kids.
I just love seeing how, especially younger people and stuff like that look up to us, even though we're 24, 25-year-old people who work day jobs. Great seeing how people look up to us and stuff, and what kind of leadership example we can set in the community for how, we can lay the groundwork for the community to become better.
You just get to come in and share your love of soccer with these younger kids, and hopefully they get to see how much you love the sport, and it rubs off a little bit on them.
For those kids, it's all about how is soccer going to be a blast. We roll a ball out, we have silly games, bunch of different nicknames, and so with Big Brothers Big Sisters, we've got a gym downtown, and we get a bunch of kids who they're kind of looking for these opportunities to play and have fun and be in a supportive, positive environment, and they get pumped up when they see these players who they can also see at the stadium come playing with them. They're asking them to do tricks and to teach them tricks, and we always give them $1 for every time they can nutmeg one of our players. That's one of the most fun things of all. But it's just about getting kids playing and having fun, and so we run a lot of those activities.
And more projects are in the works for Minneapolis City.
I wish it was my idea, but it was someone in our organization, and a bunch of people set it up. There's a park in a part of downtown that has a really, really great kind of mixed population, people from Minnesota and a bunch of our immigrant populations, brand new turf fields. And we've rented them for big blocks of time in June and July. And we're bringing the balls and we're bringing the coaches and players, and we're gonna be hosting free play for a bunch of kids in that neighborhood who otherwise wouldn't have the chance to play.
Giving back means Minneapolis City is receiving as well, as more fans are exposed to the team.
You get out here and you do an event like this and you really see how much the people that care about the club care about it. People come out and stop by the booth, people who don't necessarily know the club stop by, and all of a sudden you talk to them for 5-10 minutes and all of a sudden they want to get interested in stuff like that.
Minneapolis City SC, like many members of the NPSL, is doing its part to make the place they play a better place to live. For Around the NPSL, I'm Karen Loftus.
Thanks, Karen. As we said at the beginning of this segment, we shot that story at the annual May Day Festival, which is a huge event in the Twin Cities. And even though we only had a chance to be there for about an hour or so, it's definitely quite the unique scene, and good to see the guys out interacting at such a big event. Time for our final timeout, but when we come back, we will take you inside a recent Chattanooga FC match as we have Coach Bill Elliott mic'd up.
Their coach is going to go mental, I promise you.
For what? Why? What does he have to go mental about?
And we have some fun with our Around the Players segment with a member of Grand Rapids Football Club. That's next on Around the NPSL.
Passage is the official ticket provider of the NPSL and powers the league's dedicated ticketing platform. Support live local soccer by visiting tickets.npsl.com to find tickets to NPSL matches near you directly from NPSL teams.
We are back in time for what will be a semi-regular segment on the show as we mic up NPSL players, coaches, and staff. This week we mic up CFC coach Bill Elliott during their recent match against Georgia. Now when I put the mic on him, he said he doesn't really say much during the match and wasn't sure how good it would be. Well, as you can see and hear, he was definitely selling it short.
Good luck, coach.
Thanks, same to you.
Good luck, brother. Good luck. Good luck, brother. Let's press the goal kicks now. If they're going to try and play out, let's press it.
Well done, Jordan. Well done, Jordan.
That's ours.
Well done, Jordan. Connect the pass, Marcus. Do we want to stay open like that on the goal kicks, or do you want him to push them up and in? Do you want them staying open like that on the goal kicks, or do you want him pushing up and in? What's Ruben possibly got to say to Phil on that? Except sorry.
Come on, Blue. Come on, boys. Let's play.
He's in. Ooh. I don't know.
I'm not sure that was.
Hey, Joel! Joel! One, press these, press these. Good movement, Pipe. Can you do something here? Yes. That's a really good goal.
What they found was that little space that we were talking about.
By number 25, Marcus Schwarzach. This first goal of the match is brought to you by Dirty Cross.
Hey, way to find that little space. That's where the spaces are going to be. All right? Let's press them and make them play long on goal kicks. Nice.
Great job.
Oh, well done. Those are eventually going to pay off, that one.
Yeah, I'd like to press them a little bit.
Press a little higher.
Yep.
Okay. Got to be aware of that pace, though.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, Bill. You know, it's.
I'm not saying not to. I'm just bringing it up. Playing devil's advocate.
We have one nice man up top. You don't want me?
Number 18.
Stick with the plan till half. Let's sort it at halftime. We needed that. We needed that. What information is going to help us play better?
Here to me, 18 keeps dropping in, okay? 12 coming in is less of the problem. 18 dropping in leads Juan to cover both of those. When they reverse it, Juan's having to come all the way across.
Because you've got Danny and you've got one extra central
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Danny and those guys are covering the two deep ones.
So Juan Sanchez was saying we want him to hold, but he feels like Danny is holding and is on top of him all the time.
And he is.
He's like, do you want me to go forward more if Danny's on top of me? I mean, I guess I would say at this point we're up 2-1. What's our answer for that?
We thank Coach Elliott and really his assistant coach Peter Fuller as well, who was prominent in that segment and really enjoyed catching up with all of the CFC staff after the match. Now, we mentioned that will be a semi-regular feature on Around the NPSL, as will this. We have some fun with NPSL players with this rapid-fire Q&A we call Around the Players.
Hi, my name is Brandon Gomez. I'm a goalkeeper here at Grand Rapids FC, and this is my first season. My favorite food will have to be pizza. I love pizza. I don't know if I can pick one. I'd say a couple of my favorite actors are Denzel Washington and Adam Sandler. It's kind of two guys that I like pretty much anything that they're in. I mean, Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies. You have John Q. The Equalizer movies are good, so just anything kind of involving those two guys I'm very interested in. Favorite TV show of all time? Drake and Josh, growing up as a kid. I mean, it's a younger generation, my generation, so a lot of people may not know about it, but that's what I grew up with. Right now, Messi. I know it's a big debate, but I think he's definitely the best player in the world right now. Possibly the best player in history, even though he just lost to Liverpool, but it's all right. It's all right. I still think he's the best player. I mean, I studied business administration, so I kind of like doing marketing stuff. At this point, I think I'm still all in with soccer, and that's still what I want to do. But if it doesn't work out, I'd still like to be around the sport and do something with that. Kobe Bryant. He's just growing up in LA, being a Laker fan. He's probably my favorite athlete. Just his mentality, the Mamba mentality. That's something that I like to live with. So I think he's my favorite athlete of all time. What scares me the most, probably, I don't know, losing somebody that I love. Just a family member, a close friend. I think that's my biggest fear. To live, or how long would I be there? Because I'd probably need water. But if it's something that I would like, a soccer ball maybe? Maybe, yeah.
Thanks, Brandon, and more of those to come in the future. But that's going to do it for this first edition of Around the NPSL. And the first one's always the toughest to put together. So thank you very much to the teams that have helped us set up stories for this and future episodes. And I personally want to thank everyone at the NPSL who worked behind the scenes to make this project come together in a short time, especially Tim Weisinger, Jeff Pezja, Gary Moody, and Cindy Spera. So for all of them and for Karen Loftus, I'm Paul Boron, thanking you for joining us on Around the NPSL.